Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Global Detection Adventures. This is episode 17 for anybody who's keeping count, and obviously Dave and I are. And joining me on the other side of the world is the person I just mentioned, Dave. Dave is sitting high above Lambeau Field, watching a rather iffy football game at this moment.
Well, hello! Are we still doing the voice, Lance?
I don't know.
Hello!
Did we discuss
No, not doing the voice anymore?
I don't think so.
Hello, everyone. Dave D here, broadcasting at the GDA studios in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And, Lance, can you believe this is our 500th show, less 483? Yeah. Unbelievable.
I'm really excited. It's actually watching this thing kind of grow from, if you ever go back and listen to episode number 1, and then the first episode where you and I were actually talking, this is just amazing. It's like I can't even describe the differences. It
gets better and better every week.
It does.
It has practice evolved. Makes perfect, right?
Yeah, it definitely has. This has been
we've been
really
around for almost a year now.
Yeah.
We have the Facebook group with about over 5,600 members. We got the GDA website. We got Team GDA is really forming because we got Gary from XP.
Yeah.
Cyrene Kim Price. Yeah. We got Patrick White.
Butch Holcomb.
Butch Holcomb. And speaking about Butch Holcomb, he's from American Digger magazine.
Yeah.
Did you hear the good news?
No, not at all.
Really?
No.
Wow.
What's up?
That's weird.
I've been out of the loop this week.
Butch is going to do a front cover spread and a big article about us in his magazine.
Really?
Well, he doesn't really know about it yet. He's actually hearing it for the first time right now. So I just want to put that out to him. You think my subliminal message was just a little too subtle there?
That's why it was news to me. I didn't
even...
Yeah.
Butch will be listening. He'll be hearing it a little bit later, and then hopefully, maybe we'll get that spread.
Well, the good thing is Butch has officially become our news correspondent, so he's going to be doing the news tonight, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Butch is a really great guy in the metal detecting industry. He's got a great magazine out there. If you haven't subscribed yet, you got to get that magazine. It's just full of how do you call it? Chock full of nuts and bolts.
Yeah, it's got the knowledge base that's inside that thing is amazing. In the news.
But we have a really great show for you guys today. Lance, why don't you introduce these guys? They started off, they're a major sponsor of us and you personally. So why don't you introduce the boys from England?
Yeah, well, let me go ahead and explain this. Global Detection Adventures, the podcast, was an idea that I came up with probably in around January. And I put out a couple feelers to a couple people to see, if anybody wants to do it. In fact, I'd even written Dave, and Dave was kind of, I don't know. And so I went ahead and recorded the very first episode, which is still available on iTunes if you want to download it. But it was a test to see exactly how the idea of a podcast and metal detecting would work. And once I did that, then I kind of put out some feelers to a couple other people. And one of them was last year, my wife had actually purchased me a new digging utensil for metal detecting. I had a problem with bending over and always going on my knees. I didn't have a pinpointer at the time, so I would literally have to bend down to my knees, dig the hole, stand back up, and re-swing the hole, and do that 3 or 4 times until I finally figured out exactly where the item I was digging was. And she bought me the Black Ada Extended Invader. And I had loved it so much, I decided to kind of see if anybody at Black Ada would be interested in helping sponsor a talk show about metal detecting in a podcast format. And I had gotten a hold of them, and I guess all 3 of the people who were basically running the company had a conversation and got back with me, and lo and behold, next thing you know, the Global Detection Adventures podcast presented by Black Ada became a reality. And now for the first time in almost a full year, we've got all 3 of them. I'd like to introduce everybody to Archie, the creator of the Black Ada,
Hi,
Nathan,
guys. Hi, everybody.
and Nathan, his son,
How's it going?
and Matt, his other son.
Good evening.
So
How you
these
doing, boys?
these are
Yeah,
the
thanks.
creators.
Yeah.
These are the creators of what I consider to be the best metal detecting digging utensil that's on the market. So welcome to the podcast. Finally, in almost a year.
Great to be here, lads.
Great to be here,
Thanks for
lads.
the invite.
Yeah, it's great having you guys on, and I've been lauding about you guys' tools for good year and a half now. I think it's been since the first time I've used it.
Oh,
And
you make us blush.
I mean, if I think about it, I've had the extended invader for over a year and a half, and the only thing that's happened to it is that a little bit of paint right on the tip of the shovel has come off, and that is it. So, yeah,
I should have had the stainless steel version, Lance.
I probably should, but I like the black one. It just kind of has that powerful look when you're walking through.
Yeah.
You find
Well,
a Black Hawker on your field, you have that black Ada extended invader holding it like a club. They're going to go running.
Well, you guys created the second most important thing in metal detecting besides your metal detector is the shovel to dig the hole with. Now, whose idea was that, and how did this all come about?
Actually, Lance, that was mine. I'm Archie. When we first started, I used to use a Spear and Jackson tool, a normal gardening tool. I'd only been digging a couple of weeks, and it bent, and it was terrible. Well, I'm a tool maker by trade, so what I did, I went back in my garage, and I bent a bit of steel here and there, and we created the very first one was a ripper, called a ripper, and if you got you've probably seen it on the
It's on the website,
it's
actually.
on the website, and it's got a steel guard around it. It looked like a medieval fighting weapon, and I lead loaded it. Before we put the handle on, we put lead down into the tube and then put the handle on, and you could batter through everything. Any roots that come up, you could just smash through it, And we like my friend who introduced me to metal detecting, who is Alan Atkins, out the Judas Priest. Me and Al used to...
Wait. Let's step back a little bit.
Yeah.
You said you're friends with the guy from Judas Priest.
From Al Atkins.
Who's
name
metal?
Al Atkins, yeah.
He's a metal detectorist too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he started me off.
Wow.
And we used to go drinking in the pub together, And I mended his car once, and somebody had broke into the boot of his car, and I mended it. And the next day, his wife came round, and I said, "Where's Al?" And she said, "Oh, he's gone off metal detecting." I said, "Hey, wow!" I said, "I've always wanted to do metal detecting." Another night, Al came over, and he said, "Come on, we'll go for a drink." I said, "I don't know you did metal detecting, Al." And he says, "Yeah." He said, "I like to keep low profile, I says, "Wow, man, you got to check me out." And it started from there, and then I made there's four of us. There was Al Atkins, Brian Bentley, and Kevin Hill, and myself. And but I got the nickname Archicus Barbaricus. and then there was Atlanticus, that's Alan, Caventicus,
From
and Broibasticus. Broibasticus is his name because he used to go absolutely crazy if he didn't find anything. And the four of us, we was called the Samuel Scratters, and we used to go all the way around. And I invented this digging tool. And one by one, they all had one, and they said, "This is the best thing in the world. There's nothing to touch it." So they said, "Why don't you make these tools?" And I said, "Nobody will buy them," because it was a bit... we used to make them in the shed, they weren't professionally finished, They only got that manufactured finish. And anyway, they said, "Why do you make them?" Well, I agreed. I said, "Well, I'll tell you what we'll do." Because Alan had stopped writing his songs, and Kevin was writing a book. on metal detecting. Well, I said, if you two do that, then I'll make these tools. So that's exactly what we did. Alan's got about his 12th or 14th album out now. And I started making these digging tools, and we took them in. First of all, I was hammering them out on the bench, bashing and banging. Well, I took them into Redton Limited. That's our local metal detecting shop. And he looked at them and he said, well, yeah, a bit rough like. But anyway, I left them there for about 18 months. Nothing happened. We sold one, I think. And then I was a bit down in the mouth, and my wife said, why don't you make them properly? And I said, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a tool maker, make some tools and manufacture them properly so they look a professional finish. So I said, okay. So I got my act together, made some tools, and me and Matt and Nath started knocking them all out in the garage, and Nath done the advertising, and lo and behold, they started selling. All the big companies in Britain started having them. They said, this is the best tool on the market. There's nothing to touch it. And away it went from there. We got the first rally we did was in 1989 at Dover. And I took £1,000 in one day.
Oh,
sold out the tools, And we had Jimmy Sierra over. And Jimmy had a stainless steel Invader. He says, man, this is absolutely fantastic. And he bought a couch party over, and they all had black-headed trolls,
Yeah.
And that's how it went.
Well, how did you guys come up with the name?
It was we was in the we needed a name, and I said, well, I just don't know what to call it. And at the time, Blackadder had come out on the telly.
Yeah, with Rowan Atkinson.
What my friend said, a friend of ours says, well, it's a black tool, so it's got to be black something. He said, it's like an advanced digging aid. And I said, that's it. ADA, advanced digging aids. Black, advanced digging aids. And that's how we come up with the name. And,
so you pronounce it Black Ada or Black Ada?
Well, it isn't Black Ada. It's Black Advanced Digging Aids. But what happened was, when I went on to the second rally at Dover, I dressed up as a Viking, and it's on our website, and you can see me in my Viking gear, and I got the nickname the Black Adder, and it ain't Black Ada. Black Aid is just ADA, Advanced Digging Aid. They call me the Black Adder, and I got the name, and it's known basically all over the world as the Black Adder. And that's how it went, But you can see me and my wife, Zena, on our website. There's a link on our website, and you'll see it on there.
So you guys have a shop that you building these all in, and you're and Matt, you're there, and Nate, you're there, building all these tools. And you guys you have a professional shop, or are you still working out of your garage, as you guys say?
The garage. No. We've got a proper factory. Probably the last 2 years now. We used to have the tools made out for us. But we did actually start making them ourselves. But Archie's health. He contracted diabetes, so we ended up putting them out to be made rather than stopping manufacture altogether. So Matt and myself came on board, and we took the decision to set up a proper manufacturing facility near to where we live in West Brom.
So do you guys have employees, or is this just a family business operation?
It's mainly a family business, but we do bring in a sort of casual labour as and when we need them, normally at peak times of the year.
Yeah, and exactly, you guys you've been working on everything from sand shovels to hand trowels to just like the one I have, the extended Invader. You guys are constantly trying to advance and push even what you guys have what I thought was perfection, you're trying to advance perfection. I recently, from talking with Nathan over the last, I think it was 8 months, I know something new's coming out, and I thought maybe it'd be the perfect time for you guys to share it and let us know about what's about to come out.
Right, what we've got coming through in the next few weeks, it's the Blackadder Gladius. It's a stainless steel shovel. It's about waist height in length, and it's got the new boot saver on there. We're getting a lot of feedback. People are splitting the boots from these XP machines and whatever. They just can't stop digging holes, basically.
Yeah.
So they're wrecking these like 70 quid boots, and they've asked if we could do something about making a better purchase for the foot to go on as they're kicking, you know, in the dirt and whatever. So we've bought the Gladius out with this new boot saver with little grips on top of the foot piece for the the wet weather. And so it's a cracking bit of kit. It's up for on the Search magazine. They're doing a bit of a
we've got a piece of editorial going into the Searcher magazine next issue, so you might want to have a look for that. We've had it field tested. Gary from the Searcher magazine has kindly gone out and put it through its paces, and basically can't find fault with it. He says it's an absolutely amazing tool, and it's his weapon of choice now, to quote him.
Yeah, definitely. If Gary from Searcher Magazine's been out there digging this thing up, I guarantee he's been putting it through some rigorous abuse.
Yeah.
So this, guys, is this a full-time gig that you guys are making these shovels?
Yeah. It's full on. It's full on.
Yeah.
So when you're in the shop, does your dad Archie, does he come in there and start, throwing his weight around and
blazing?
Start yelling at you guys, get to work. Why aren't you on time?
I had to come in and crack the whip, you know what I mean? Like, get them going, warm the place up.
Biggest argument at the moment. Where's the Christmas do going to be held this year?
Yeah. Who's going to pay for Christmas?
You started how long ago making these shovels? Like how many years ago?
We started. I actually, when I first started metal detecting, was at the latter end of 1981 when I invented the tools, and then I was out of work for 9 years, and I started making them and my friends, and then it run into like 20 and 30 people at a time. And of course, I started charging them like a fiver and that £5 that is. And I was making quite a few, and then they said, like my wife said, make them professionally. So, as I said before, Al Atkins said to me, you've got to make these, Arch. Then fantastic. So, in 1989, we actually started Blackadder off.
As a properly fledged company.
So you guys are approaching, you're 3 years away from your 30-year anniversary.
It's a big one.
Yeah, big one, that'll be.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I'm 70 now.
You're gonna have to get one of the first shovels, one of the rippers, get it dipped in gold, put it on a plaque, and present it to your dad.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Now, are you guys worldwide as far as selling? How many units go out, like say to the United States, or who's your probably your biggest country as far as units going out?
France is probably our biggest country, but we do go all over the world. We're trying our hardest to get into America, but what we find is distribution holds that process up, because it costs actually more to post the goods than the goods actually cost themselves. Geez. We need to work on that, but we've sent them all over the world.
We need somebody like Kelly Cow to actually tell us what kind of quantities they want, so we can get onto our government. Will help us, you see, to make them, and produce more, manufacture more. But we need to know of somebody like Kelly Cow what kind of quantities they want. So we've got some idea, but
that's the upshot. It's bulk. We need to ship in bulk to get them to the States.
Nobody's getting back to us again.
Yeah, so I can understand that because the import taxes and the shipping itself. I don't think import taxes would affect you guys because normally your tools are under the 40-pound mark, I believe.
Yeah, majority are. Yeah,
and so that would kind of bypass any kind of taxes, but it's going to be the shipping because it is a solid built digging utensil or digging accessory.
So our shovels out here cost anywhere between a decent one between $75 and $90, and yours are 40 English pounds, which is about $60 American. That's a really good price for the type of shovel you guys are building, the quality that you guys have. I think that's something that we would love to help you get this in the mainstream here in the United States. Any ideas, Lance, how we can help these guys out and bring those shovels to America?
Well, the good news is that beginning of 2017, we're going to be opening up the GDA shop online. Isn't that correct, Dave?
That is correct.
So that might be a place that we might be able to introduce some of the Blacketta digging utensils. I'll ship them straight out from where I'm at in Germany so that Blacketta doesn't have to incur any of the costs. And then we'll ship them over to the United States, and then we'll see if we can introduce them into the American market and kind of drum up a little bit of the interest in them, which would then cause demand from the United States and hopefully bring some of these amazing digging utensils over to the U.S. market.
Yeah, I think with the cost,
Lance, it's exactly what we want.
Yeah. If we can drum up the interest, I think people will start swarming. I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening. They're going to see the quality is there.
Well, what I like to do, guys, for you is do a little bit more of advertising on our Facebook page, and also especially on my like page, because we do have 5,600 people on there. The like page has about 4,000 people on there. You guys, if you want to put together some kind of an advertisement, a picture advertisement, we can pin it up on our Facebook post. We'll put it up every Tuesday, and we'll keep it up for 24 hours or something like that. Unless we have something important that we have to pin up there, we'll leave it up there. So you guys just get a little bit more exposure, and I think this will really help you guys out, and hopefully sell some more shovels.
That's much appreciated. Cheers, Dave.
Yeah, it's not a big issue. It's definitely something we need to do. Well, I think it's time for our first break, Dave.
Yeah, let's do that. When we come back, I want to talk to Archie a little bit. He's got a lot of friends in the music industry that actually do metal detecting, and some of them are going to really blow your mind.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll talk about that when we come back. I'm Dave D, along with Lance Goolsby, and we're talking with Nathan, Matt, and Archie of Blacketta, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hello, this is Butch Holcomb of American Digger Magazine. Rallies are an important part of metal detecting culture, and it is no different here in America. Here, though, we tend to call them organized digs or organized hunts. Most of them are held at Civil War sites, and perhaps the most successful is the long-running Digging in Virginia, which just completed its 35th event in early November 2016. I was fortunate enough to attend this dig, which saw 400 people on 1,700 acres. But there was plenty for everybody. This was virtually an unhunted Civil War camp near Washington, D.C., Culpeper, Virginia, and these guys lost a lot of stuff. The 3-day hunt boasted finds from beyond the scope of average metal detecting, with approximately, are you ready for this, 25 Civil War buckles, including several Confederate ones, several hundred marked military buttons, again including about a dozen Confederate ones, and some really cool coin finds. Now this isn't a coin hunt, it's a Civil War relic hunt, but the soldiers did lose coins. And I saw a U.S. penny which was found that has an 1858 Flying Eagle cent on one side, and the obverse has an 1859 Indian head. So you have a flying eagle scent and an Indian head. They're one coin, I swear. It's rumored that these were made by the U.S. Mint to commemorate the transition from one design to the other, but all we know for sure is that it's extremely rare. I've heard of one other one being dug up, and coincidentally, it was just a few miles from this place. Another landmark find was the recovery of a bullet dump which contained almost 1,000 sectional Shaler bullets. These 58 caliber lead rounds consisted of 3 pieces and were designed to separate in flight. They didn't work. They were hated by the soldiers who complained of inaccuracy and substantial recoil, and for these reasons they were only issued for a very short time, making them very rare, at least until this hunt, because at this hunt there was close to 1,000 of these complete bullets found out of one hole, and what is believed to have happened is this is where the soldiers were en masse throwing all the bullets that they just didn't like. So government waste even during the Civil War. As for myself, I managed a handful of mini bullets and buttons, including a pretty scarce Rhode Island State Seal button. The hunt was fun, and it's unseated. These are all natural finds left by the soldiers. And I suggest anyone wanting to experience American Civil War relic hunting to attend an upcoming event. It really might even be worth your while to travel across the pond for this. It's 3 days. Generally speaking, it's around $250, sometimes $300, so it's not a very expensive ordeal. Find out more about it in the upcoming American Digger magazine. We'll be featuring the hunt in our January issue, so don't miss it. Also, information about the hunt you can find out by visiting mytreasurespot.com. Let me say that any of the organized hunts are fun and any of the rallies are fun, but this one was one beyond the call. Well, this is Butch Holcomb, American Digger Magazine, still searching for America.
They poured hot lead into the mold, and born a bullet was I. 3 rings and a point grew hard in the cold of a Triune Tennessee night. It was late November, the worst was to come, and I lay with the others of my kind. They longed to be fired, thirsted for blood, but I prayed on that Triune night. Don't make me fly out on that field to kill and then to fall. If I was made for this, I wish I'd not been made at all. On that Triune night, a hand reached deep into the bag where my brothers and I did rest. He pulled me out, this gentle lad, saying, yes, this one is the best. Into my side he carved a rose, in the other his sweetheart's name. And I heard his prayers fall softly down while I whispered up the same. Don't make me fly out on that field to kill placed his rifle by a tree. Into the battle he ran, holding me in his hand. Then he fell till he was free. Then he let go of me. And the soldier on the other side, the one I would have hid, he died when he was 83, with his family around his bed. And me, I lie in this soft earth for you one day to find my simple rose and the dear sweet name of the one he left behind on that trial night.
Black ADA are not only our sponsor, but they're also really good friends of mine. So what I'd like you to do is head over to www.blackada.com and see for yourself the wonderful line of advanced digging accessories that they have available on their website. Now, I know what you're thinking. Digging utensils specific for metal detecting are going to be way overpriced. Well, let me burst that bubble, buddy. Each one of their items are extremely affordable, so they could be bought by just about anybody. And there's a reason why they're considered one of the best digging accessories on the planet. Each one of their items has reinforced shafts to really thick welds that can really stand just about any abuse you throw at them. I have the Stingray, and I've been using that on a hard-packed field that has a whole lot of stones in it. And believe me, it's been tearing through all that like they were butter. And that Extended Invader is one of the greatest things that I have for open fields. There's no need now to bend over and dig a hole, then rescan it with the metal detector. I can dig a hole while standing up, and then scan the hole with my metal detector to see if I've got the object out. It really saves my old knees. So head over to www.blackada.com, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed with the objects that you see on their website. From sand scoops to shovels, everything that they got is some of the best on the planet. That's blackada.com. So as soon as we get done with this podcast, head over there. Don't go over there right now. Go over there as soon as you get done with the podcast. No, seriously, not right now, after the show.
All right, we're back. You're listening to the GDA podcast with your hosts, Lance Goolsby and Dave D. We're with Nathan, Matt, and Archie from the Black Ada team. And joining us right now, another metal detectorist from the UK. He has a site called, I guess, Heavy Metal Detecting. Is that right, Gary?
That's spot on, yeah.
Spot on. All right.
We dig to the max and we rock to the max.
Hey, Gary Fenn out of the UK, heavy metal detectorist. And Gary, the reason why we got you here, because you're a unique kind of a character. I mean, you incorporate heavy metal music into metal detecting. I only know one other person that does that in the United States. And actually, she's a friend of yours, Kimmy Price. But how did you get involved in, well, metal detecting, first of all, and then incorporating the heavy metal music?
Yeah.
Oh, dead simple. YouTube videos. My sort of interest in history was, goes back years, and it's something that's always sort of caught my eye, metal detecting, but I've never sort of thought, well, should I go for it? And then you see that little JPEG on YouTube. Someone's found something interesting, some historical artifact. In this case, it was sort of World War II stuff, and I thought, wow, look what they're finding. Let's look into it. So click on the video, and you get sucked in and go from there. Wow, they're finding World War II stuff and blah blah blah, and you think, I fancy a bit of that. I could try that. What's going to be on offer to me in my area, and you go from there.
Yeah, and how exactly did heavy metal music kind of get incorporated into your videos? Because a lot of people, I can see the relation between metal, we're metal detectors. But is that exactly what it was for you? Is kind of a play on the word for metal from metal detecting?
Yeah, well, it was kind of a way of, killing two birds with one stone, really. I fancied making videos, and I thought, well, what should I do? Metal detecting videos or music videos or guitar videos or whatever. So I just thought, well, why not just throw them all into one bag and mix it up and, see if anyone sort of channels into it and likes it. So it was just a way of incorporating a lot. So it gives me a good scope. I can throw this in and throw that in and change this and change that.
I can definitely see how
idea. So
I can definitely see how you and Kimmy get along. She has the exact same kind of mentality. She loves her rock and roll music and her metal detecting, and just figured out a way to kind of incorporate all of it together.
Well, Gary, we have our guest from the Black Ada team here, and Archie, the senior representative of the team. He's got some really interesting stories, and I'm thinking you're going to want to really sit down for this one. Archie, you know a lot of metal detectorists. Is that a word, detectorists, or do you just call them metal detectors out there that are really well-known musicians? And you kind of shared some of the stories earlier with us before we went on the air. Could you just tell us a little bit about how you met these guys
and who?
Well, how it started was I'd been out of work a long time, and we had. I used to mend the cars, welding, spraying on cars, and my best friend is Alan Atkins, out of the Judas Priest. He formed the Judas Priest heavy metal rock band, and he brought his car around one day, and somebody tried to get in the boot of his car, and he left it with me, and I mended the boot, sprayed it and everything. And the next day his wife came round to collect it, and I said, "Oh, where is he? Where's Alan?" And they said, "He's gone out metal detecting." And I said, "Aye, wow." I said, "I didn't know he did metal detecting." And they said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "Are you interested in that?" I said, "I ain't off. I'd always wanted to do that." Anyway, the night when Alan came round for us to go for a drink, was in the pub. I said, "Alan, I didn't know you did metal detecting." He said, "Well, I like to keep low profile on that one, And I said, "Oh, great." I said, "Can I come out with you?" He said, "Are you interested?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I'll arrange it with the other two guys." And the other two guys, as I've said before, one was Broibasticus, a Caventicus, and they call me Articus Barbaricus. And I went out with them for the first time, and I hadn't got a detector. And then I got hooked on it, and I says, "I've got to get me a detector." Well, Broibasticus got me a cheap C-scope 770D. And I went out detecting the first time, and it was in the back end of 1981. It was around about November, and it was really frosty and cold. I bought a cheap digging tool from one of our companies over here, Spear and Jackson. I don't know whether you've heard of them. And within a minute, it had bent, and I couldn't dig with it. I thought, "Oh dear." Well, me being a tool maker, I thought, I'm going to make a tool that'll break through this thermal frost like. So I invented the Ripper, and it looked like a medieval fighting weapon. And I lead-loaded the handle and put the plastic handle on the top, and it battered through anything, And and the guard stopped you slipping down the tube, and it's in the top of the blade. And it was fantastic. And all the guys says, you got to make us one. So I made some more, and then other friends came in, and I made more and more. And then at the end, Al Atkins, out the Judas Priest, said, Arch, you got to make these professionally. So I said to Alan, I said, well, I'll make them professionally if you start writing your songs again. So Alan started writing his songs again, and Kevin, he started writing a book, which that's a bit of a long story, but he got out nearly 2 million sites in Britain to go on. That's from down from the Stone Age to picnic sites up to the 1950s. Anywhere in Britain, you know, and but that's another story. It's a bit long to go into. And anyway, Alan started writing his songs, and he's got about, I think he's about 12 or 14 albums out now. You can get in touch with him on alatkins.com, like, you know, get in touch with Al. And then he went from there, and we just started the very first rally in, it was 1988 actually. That was just before I went professional. And we sold 1,000 quid's worth in about, I think it was about 5 or 6 hours altogether. And that was a lot of money for us, you know. And then in 1989 we started professionally, and the Blackadder went absolutely bananas then. They came in from Germany, Holland, Sweden, Denmark, and United States, and Boynham. Jimmy Sierra bought a coach trip over from the States, and he went mad about it, Jimmy. We presented him one of the stainless steel Invaders. Oh, and he loved that one, like, you know. And it just grew bigger and bigger, and people saying that them the best thing out, them really nice, because we tried to get the quality into it, you know, tried to make it a good quality, but also going back into music, I've got my band, because I had a band as well on YouTube. We used to be called the Mustangs back in when we was kids, you know. And if you go onto YouTube and punch in original Mustangs Paddy, you'll actually see me playing the guitar, so that you can tell the folks in the States, and they can have a look at me playing. I do a song called Summertime Blues by Eddie Cochran, but I did my own version of it, like. That's the music side of it, you know.
Rolling Stones.
So this is the In Memory of Paddy McGee?
Yeah, in memory of Paddy McGee, yeah.
Yeah.
He had cancer and died, you know, but and we did that slot. I don't know you've got it up now, but the lead guitarist Twink, the drummer Rob, and me, and then the guy who's sitting on the side is Twink's brother, his younger brother, and he stepped in and played the bit that Paddy was going to play, you know. And that's a bit of the music slot. But
we've sold to all sorts of people.
Yeah,
music stars.
I don't know if you know Tom Jones. Have you ever heard of Tom Jones?
Yeah, who hasn't heard of Tom Jones?
Well, his band.
What's up, pussycat?
Yeah, well, Tom Jones, his lead guitarist, is named Bill Parkinson, and he wrote a famous record. It's called Mother of Mine, it was called. And he's a big friend of mine, and he got that many guitars in his house, it's unbelievable. But Bill, I say you can get his picture of him up as well on the web you'll get it. And
Bill Warman.
Pardon?
There's Bill Warman, isn't it?
Bill Warman.
Bill Warman. I was sitting in my office one day, and the phone went, and a guy says on the other end, "Hi, Archie." I says, "Hello there." He said, "Bill." I said, Bill, yeah. I don't know who he was. And he says, he said, I need some shovels off you, Archie. He says, I want 6 stainless steel invaders. I said, okay, yeah, right. And then I said, where's your address? And when he gave me his address, it was Norfolk, and it was Bill Wyman out the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. He's not the only Rolling Stone that you've sold to either, is he?
Pardon?
He's not the only Rolling Stone that you've sold to either, is he?
Now, I've only talked to Bill Wyman, actually, but Keith Richards does metal detecting as well. But I haven't spoke to Keith Richards, And
he's writing a book, wasn't he?
He's got a book. Bill Wyman's got a book out called Bill Wyman's Treasure Island, a really cracking book. And it shows you all the finds that have been found in Britain, all gold and everything. Oh, it's a fantastic book. And I highly recommend it to all the detectorists out there. If they can get hold of it. It's a fantastic book.
Well,
and inside the book, he's got a picture of Bill digging with one of our invaders, a black invader,
Yeah. Well, the book is available on Amazon, so anybody wanting to take a look and see Bill Wyman using one of the Blackadder, check it out. It's Amazon.com. It's called Bill Wyman's Treasure Islands.
So, Gary, getting back to you, what the type of music that you listen to? What's your top 5 bands that you guys use for your videos?
Oh, blimey. Well, I pretty much run the full sort of spectrum of rock music, so anything from the 60s to the present day, really. If I had to say a top 5, Rolling Stones would certainly be in there. Black Sabbath would be in there. Led Zeppelin, Iron Maiden.
What about the Monks? Did you ever hear of the Monks?
No.
You never heard of the Monks out of England?
No.
You guys hear nobody heard? You hear the Monks, Archie? Did you ever hear of the Monks?
No, I'd have to listen to the
band, the Monks. No.
Well, you know what? Because you guys are from England and Gary's from England, and all this English accent's going around. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my English accent. I'm going to sing you a little verse from the Monks. And you tell me you tell me if you recognize it, all right?
I think I need to leave the room now.
I'm doing this a cappella, so give me a break here. I don't have a band with me, all right? All right, this is from one of the first couple lyrics from one of their songs. Ready? And then I'm going to do it in my English accent, which really doesn't matter because when you sing an English accent, it sounds American anyways. So, all right, here we go. You met her on a blind date, helping out an old mate, waiting at the corner. She'd be dressed in black. There was I expecting a really tasty bird. He said she was good looking. I should have doubted his word. When I saw her, learned she was a real disgrace. I thought, nice legs, shame about the face.
Yeah.
Now, you guys don't remember that song?
Yeah, vaguely. I would never know the artist though, so that's new to me.
They don't actually say face; they say boat race.
Yeah, and then he goes into another verse where he says boat race. Now, why? I'm going to ask you guys, why do they say boat race for face? I mean, how does that correlate?
It's a rhymed Cockney
rhyming slang, isn't it?
It's like apples and pears. That's up the stairs. Apples and pears.
Whistle and flute.
Whistle and flute. That's your suit.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because that's what he says. In the next verse, he'll say, nice legs, shame about the boat race. And I never understood why boat race,
If he boat race, ugly face.
Nice legs, shame about the boat race.
All right, well, I'm never going to be on The Voice, so I hope you guys appreciated that one.
I think Dave deserves a round of applause for that.
Yeah,
definitely does.
Good effort.
All right. I got 3 shows on Sunday.
Lance, we actually come from the Black Country, and it's right in the centre of England, and a lot of people can't understand the way we talk. It goes back to Saxon times, and a lot of it is still used. well, where we come, we say, for now, we say now, and you, we say yo, and that's going back to Saxon times, you know. And instead of girl, we'd say wench.
If I said that in this house,
what do you guys call a cigarette out there?
Things like this, you know. But
Black Country's also the birthplace of heavy metal, isn't it?
Yeah. The Black
Oh,
Country's the birthplace of heavy metal.
So let me show you my ignorance as an American. Archie's accent sounds kind of like
Australian.
Ozzy Osbourne's accent. Is it kind of the same area where you come from?
Sharon.
He lives about 8 miles away from us, Ozzy.
Oh, okay. So the accent is from the same.
Not now, but it did then, you know.
Well, yeah, then. But back in Black
Sabbath. A friend of mine, I haven't seen him for quite some years now. You know Noddy Older?
Noddy Older.
Slade.
The band Slade.
I know the band.
Here it is, Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
Everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
You know that one?
It's Christmas.
That's Noddy Older. He's another friend of mine.
Yeah, I definitely know those ones. I know the songs. I definitely do know them.
And
So Gary,
the Move. You remember the Move?
Go ahead.
Get the fire brigade, get the fire brigade. The place is really starting to burn. I'm just sitting and watching flowers in the rain, watching the power of the rain, making the garden grow. That's the Move.
Well, this has definitely become a very musical episode.
Gary, don't you think like me and Archie could just be like singing one of your videos?
No.
You know, when your metal detecting videos, me and Archie just get together and we'll do a little tune for you.
Dave, he wants to get people
I just
watching his videos.
found a Bitcoin. Something like that. No?
Well,
Dave-
yeah. I mean, it's you know.
He's trying to
Sound
gain
right,
watchers.
Yeah, go well, I think.
I'm sure if he wanted you to sing, that would be the point when he wants to lose watchers.
I don't.
Wait a second, my YouTube watchers, what,
Can't afford that.
214, 213, 212, it's going down. It's supposed to go up. So, Gary, you're using like major labels and your metal detect. How, in England, can you guys get away with using titles and tracks and stuff for your videos? And here in the United States, we try to do that. They'll just say, we can't post your video on YouTube. But over there, you guys can do it. I don't understand that. So how come in England and the UK or Europe, even Lance, you got busted once for that in Germany.
Oh yeah.
How come you guys can do it in the UK?
Oh yeah, definitely. It all depends on the owner of the music's policy. Some will let you. I mean, they all basically have the rights to advertise on your video as soon as you use their music. Some will do that and let you use the music. Some will simply block you and not let you use the music. So you have to sort of try and check what's available to you before you sort of put the artist in. It really is a hit and miss affair, but there are ways of getting around it. You can use live tracks, which are not protected by copyright, etc., etc. So you've got to just play around with it, really, and until you get something that goes through the system and becomes usable. But I do try and tend to check what I use first, and if it can be played, I put it on there, basically. Obviously, I can't make any money from any of my videos because they do have copyrighted material. So
Yeah.
I'm limited to what I can do with it. But it's just fun for me. So
Yeah, I mean.
So, Gary,
that's how we go.
go ahead, Lance.
No, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Because I had a issue. I did a local video, a music video, I guess you could say it, for a paintball team that was here in the town where I live, Schweinfurt, and it was split up into two videos. One of the songs had I can't remember what the band was on that first one, but that one got hit and by the copyright owner. And once that happened, I wrote, it was Disturbed was the owner of the second song. And once that happened, I then sent an email with a connection to the video to the copyright owner, and I got the okay to continue using it. And like you, I can't monetize it. I don't make any kind of money off of it, but it's fun to actually be able to do that.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I've never actually gone down that road of emailing an owner. I've simply checked whether it can be used via YouTube's tools, which you can do, and if nothing gets picked up, and they simply recognise it and say you're using it, it will be advertised. You know, the owners will advertise, and that's fine. I'll use it then. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
But some obviously are a bit more strict, and they will just cut you dead, saying no, your video's muted. Then you have to go back to the drawing board and think of a way around it. So, you know, it is a bit of a minefield.
I think it's kind of funny how this video, this episode today, I guess this is going to be called the episode of Rock Stars, because we're going to be taking another break here in a second, and but I guess we're going to be bringing in one of Gary's greatest friends. Siren Kimmy is coming on with her segment. And we're going to go ahead and cut there, and then we're going to be bringing on yet another guest to today's show.
What a plethora of entertainment and GDA.
This is the beginning of the GDA roundtable discussion, I guess.
Wow. All right, well, let's go take that break. Right now, we're listening to the GDA podcast with Lance and Dave. So far, we have the Black Ada team from the UK, Nathan, Matt, and Archie, and we're also here with the heavy metal detecting with Gary Fenn. And when we come back, we're going to be visiting with Sean Woods.
Yep.
And he's got another new interesting
product.
We'll see when we come back, but
It's
got to do with metal detecting. That's all I know, right?
Yep.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Well, this is one rock and rolling episode of the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and take this time in this commercial break to go ahead and remind you to head on over to our website. That's www.global-detecting.com. You'll be able to find all our podcast information about Dave and I, plus links to our videos. Be sure to check out our videos on YouTube as well. Mine are under Detecting Bavaria with Lance and XP Deus, and you can find Dave by doing a search on YouTube for V3 Eye Sweeper. Also, make sure that you head over to XP Metal Detectors and check out their website at xpmetaldetectors.com. And if you have an XP Deus, make sure that you check out their classroom where you can learn how to use the unbelievable features that the XP Deus has. That website is www.xp-detectors.co.uk. So make sure you go over there and check them out. I guarantee you will not be sorry. So I'm done talking for now, at least on this commercial. So let's get back to the show.
Hi everyone, Siren Kimmy here from Girls Rock Metal Detecting. Before I get started, I want to send a shout out to all the men and women who are serving and have served in the armed forces. Thank you so much for all that you do, and I hope you had an amazing Veterans Day. Now, this segment, I want to talk about something that I find terrifying. I find so scary, and I think I finally realized why that is, and I think I may have conquered this fear this weekend, and that is door knocking for permissions. Yes, I know we all love this so much. I'm not sure what it is about approaching somebody's house, asking them to detect their property that is so scary. I know I'm a bit of an introvert, this is no secret, and it's really not that aspect of it. I can talk to people. I'm not one of those that have to hide out in my house and I can't come out and I can't socialize. I'm a social person. But at the same time, there is just something about knocking on somebody's door. And it's not a fear of rejection, because I'm a grown adult and I have been told no enough times in my life, believe me. So I'm not afraid of the rejection, other than the fact that, if it's a property I really, really want to detect, I don't want them to say no, of course. But there's just something about, I don't know, being up in somebody's personal space, being an annoyance. And I can kind of take this back, I guess, to one of the very first jobs I ever had, and the only job I was ever fired from. It was telemarketing, selling magazines. Yes. I remember this was back before the days of the do not call list, and when I would be at home, somebody would call while I'm trying to watch a movie or hang out with friends and try to sell something. It would be so annoying, and that was like, I don't even know why I took the job, because I really did feel it was such an annoying thing. But needless to say, I was fired from this position because my productivity was so low, because instead of calling people to sell magazines, I was calling my friends and talking to my friends instead. So that did not work out for me. And again, it was more an idea that I was intruding. And that's kind of how I feel about door knocking. That when I'm walking up to somebody's house, they may be eating dinner or watching a movie or spending time with family, or maybe they're on the phone, I don't know. But I'm intruding in their world. I'm on their property, I'm in their space, and I have no right to be there. So I kind of had to approach this with an idea of, I'm not selling them a Hoover. I'm not asking them to give money for band candy. I'm there just asking if I can metal detect their property and share my passion with them. And that's how I kind of tried to approach it. So I went to the first door and I knocked on the door, and a nice lady answered, and I simply said, "Hello, my name is Kimmy. I am a hobby metal detectorist, and I look for old buttons and buckles and things from the past, and I was wondering if you would be so kind as to allow me to metal detect your property." And you know what she said? She said yes. Amazing how it works, right? So the more I got to doing this, I asked 6 people this weekend, and of those 6 people, 4 said yes. None of them were angry. None of them shut the door in my face. None of them hollered at me. Everybody was nice. Even the people that declined me. And the 2 that declined me were because the property did not belong to them and they didn't feel comfortable giving me permission to detect. So, look at the odds there. 4 out of 6 people said yes. I have 4 new permissions that I wouldn't have had if I didn't go up and knock on the door. And in the process, I had some of the best conversations. When you talk about your passion shines through, and it's hard for other people not to get excited with you. I had some of the best conversations talking about history, about the property. There are people that didn't realize that their property was in a Civil War area. I mean, we got to talk about history, and we got to talk about the things that I find. It opened up an awesome dialogue, and it was a great experience, and I killed my fear. I am no longer afraid to knock on doors. And I think it really was the initial steps of just going up and doing it. And sometimes you just got to step outside of your comfort zone and do it. And I think that holds true for lots of things, not just knocking on doors, whatever your fear might be. The biggest thing about the fear is the fear itself, not to be corny, but it's true. Because once you get over it, again, I'm still standing here, I'm good. And I knocked on doors and I got 4 more permissions. So it's kind of an amazing thing, really. So don't be afraid to do it, you guys. Just get out there and try it. What do you got to lose? So until next time, be sure to check out Girls Rock Metal Detecting. Check out the YouTube channel, because of course this next week is going to be the Thanks Digging special, where you get to see some of the awesome things that I dug up on these new permissions. So get on over to YouTube and like and subscribe. Get over to my Facebook page, like that as well. And if you haven't, please check out my blog. You can see tons of rambling, such as you're hearing here, and interact with me on some of the topics that I think are interesting, or just that I feel I need to vent about. So get on over there and check it out. And until next time, everybody, don't forget, rock metal detecting.
All right, so that was Kimmy Price, and couple other commercials snuck in there, and but right now I want to go ahead and let everybody know, if you've watched any of my videos, you've seen me a couple times using an application on my iPhone called Miner's Mark. Miner's Mark is an app that was originally intended for gold miners and gold prospectors, and slightly with a little bit of my help, we were able to bring it into the metal detecting community and make it an app that is what I believe is a must-have for anybody who relic hunts, because I've been using this app now for a good 8 months, I believe it is, and I've been able to use this app plotting where my finds are. Basically, let's go back about 3 months. I found during the course of about 2 hunts, I found 6 or 8 coins, and plotting them with the Miner's Mark, I was able to figure out that it started looking like, once I plotted those coordinates onto my Google Earth, that it looked like they were pretty much coming on a straight line. That got me believing that there was a road in this area or a horse path or something. That made me decide to go ahead and look for historic maps for the area, and lo and behold, I found and discovered a forgotten horse path that used to run out of a town. And so we brought in the creator, the owner of the company. It's a small company who created this app. The app, again, is called Miner's Mark, available on Google and the iTunes store, and hopefully really soon on Amazon for anybody who uses the Android devices. So I'd like to go ahead and introduce Sean Woods into our round circle of multiple people tonight. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so the Miner's Mark, it was originally, you are a gold hunter, or you're a gold miner, correct?
Yes.
And so what exactly was the original intention for the Miner's Mark app?
Well, when I first dreamed this up, which was about a year and a half ago, my thought process was around, what tool do I not have when I'm out gold mining? And, in the world of technology we're in, it just dawned on me, hey, I've got a phone in my pocket all the time, and it has some pretty nifty features to it. So my initial concept was be able to mark those locations that you maybe want to come back to. My thoughts were around, I've seen more places that were interesting to me that I've never gone back to than I'll ever remember. Mm-hmm. So that kind of started the base concept of the application, is using the GPS on the phone to mark a location and wrap some information around that, like notes and detailed notes and photographs, and be able to mark that via your GPS coordinates on a map. So you could go back to it. Now, over that year and a half, the concept and the potential usage has grown quite a bit, which I personally love. I've gotten a lot of feedback over the last year and a half, and from you, Lance, about metal detecting, which opened my eyes to more and more uses for the application. So we're continually adding functionality to work across the board. We've added quite a bit even for the crystal hunters and miners out there.
That's amazing. The app, I can tell you, is extremely easy to use. It's got a really easy interface. It's basically hit a button, hit another button, type in a couple words, and you've got a plot saved, which for me makes it a lot easier. And just exactly for that, the reason that I showed earlier or talked about earlier for discovering that road, it was later on when I was able to import the grid coordinates onto Google Earth and start plotting each one of those places that I realized it was a straight road. But my idea when I started using this, I believe it was March or April, when you approached and asked if you could advertise on our Facebook group. And I saw it and I started looking at the app itself, and I became completely interested in it because you had planned it for the prospectors. You had asked me, you got some prospectors and people in Australia who gold prospect as well. Would you allow me to advertise this? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then when I started reading on what it could do, I started seeing applications that we could use as far as metal detectors as well. You were gracious enough to let me beta test it, and I shared in a couple videos how easy it was to plot locations. And even from that point, the most recent one that I've used, it's a simple, easy interface, and I'm surprised that nobody's actually really thought of something like this before. I'm hoping that this kind of exposure will help you guys be able to reach more people, and I hope that metal detectors out there will, especially the relic hunters. I think mostly for the relic hunters, it's going to really definitely help them out, because you'll be able to plot locations and figure out where the high congestion of relics are, and then figure out where you want to metal detect from that point and what possibly had happened at that point.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring that up, Lance. That it's a simple and easy to use interface. I've looked at similar apps for like fishing and those sorts of things just to get a comparison, and all of those are very network connectivity requirement heavy and lots of things going on. The idea for us was, I want this to be a tool in your arsenal, not a fluffy app with lots of stuff you really maybe not care about when you're out in the field. So we've kept it simplified. Again, we want it to be a tool, and a tool needs to be easy to use and make sense. So,
yeah, exactly.
So I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
So, Sean, I got a question for you. This is Dave.
Yeah.
Now, you got a couple versions to this app, and you could explain the difference in the different apps, the different versions, and also, do you use it off your phone? So, do you need a signal for the app to work?
Yeah, so I'll answer the signal question first. The only signal you need is GPS. The app will function way out in the backcountry somewhere with absolutely no cellular or Wi-Fi type connectivity. Your phone will get GPS independent of those. On occasion, if you're somewhat shielded from a sky view, so a heavily wooded area, it may take a few minutes longer. But we did include an accuracy meter when you're saving a site, so it will show as the accuracy gets better and better. It will show that so that you can give it a few minutes if need be to pinpoint your location. So yeah, absolutely. Out anywhere, it will work. I've even tested it in a plane at 35,000 feet. And it's not really happy about getting GPS at 500 miles an hour, but it will do it. Yeah, you got to test it everywhere, right?
So what about the different versions that you have for this?
Yeah, there's the basic version of Miner's Mark is free, and really, sorry, I have an alarm on my phone that decided now is the time to go off.
Oh, I thought that was background music for the app.
I thought this is the time when we go into yoga pose, crouching dog.
Right.
It's the Mustangs playing in the background.
Yeah,
right, Archie?
Right. So anyway, the versions, the core version of it, which fully functions as you would expect, is free. The limitation there is there's ads. And I'll be honest, the ads are mostly to annoy you to pay a few bucks to take the ads away. But, hopefully we make $1 off of it here and there. The only other real limitation to it is the number of sites that you can save on your device. So the free version only allows you to save 5 sites on your device. The Pro version allows you 10 versions on your device. I'm sorry, the full version allows only 10 sites saved on the device. And then the Pro version allows 20 sites on the device, but also unlocks other features such as multiple geo points on a site. So that's really useful when you want to start shading off an area on your map or tracking an old horse trail.
Yeah, that's a kind of point that was good for me, because I find areas that I refer to as the Tango Zulu, the trash zone near me. So that gives me the ability to actually mark off that trash zone, the area that I want to avoid, because that's where pedestrians and people walking by have just tossed their trash into fields.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's in the pro version. It is very useful. The reason that's only in the pro version is there is a heck of a lot of coding that goes on to manage those geopoints, and especially when the cloud services come up, there's a heck of a lot of coding behind managing all those multiple coordinates on a site. Now, I would like to talk a bit about why some of those limitations are there, and then the cloud services that give you some more space and places to store sites. Right now, we don't know. We can certainly calculate and take some guesstimations of how much storage a site or a grouping of sites is going to take on your device. Also, up in the cloud, so a site saved up there, we can guess at how much it's going to take data-wise, storage-wise, those sorts of things. And there, especially as the cloud services are concerned, there are costs to providing that service. So we are working as now the app is out, and we'll get the cloud services up in a couple of weeks, understanding what those storage requirements are going to be, and what the cost is on the back end for the storage or the cloud services. What we have vision, we have dreams of where this app will go. We're going to be working toward offline maps, for instance, so that even if you do not have cellular service, you can still download maps for the area you're in, which again requires more space and more data transfer and all those things. Yeah. One thing we will do, I want to have a viable company. I'd rather work for myself than where I work now. But we're not greedy. We're not out to dig into every miner or metal detector's pocket. So as we go forward and we see what those requirements are, we may very well be raising those levels as we go. And we will not raise the price of the app or the price of the monthly subscription for cloud services. We'll just simply expand what you get for that dollar. I want very much for all of our users, if they're spending some money with us, which we'll appreciate greatly, but I want you to feel every time you use the app that this is worth every penny I've spent.
That's fantastic. Now, the great thing about the cloud, I know personally from talking with you prior, the good thing about the cloud is that you guys will be introducing something hopefully pretty soon where all the sites that you have then marked are going to be able to then be downloaded onto a website on their laptop and or computer, and then be able to see each one of their plugged marks directly on top of a map?
Yes, we're working toward the web service as well, so you will be able to go to our website, log in with the same credentials that you log into the app with, and you'll have access to all your sites and the maps, and be able to make a lot of decisions about pushing things back to your device, etc. That will all be coming. Again, keeping in mind we're a very small company. There's 3 of us. We have day jobs. We're doing our best to push out all these features. And that's where we really do need, support of all the communities, whether it's gold mining or metal detecting. If you guys support us, we're going to support you guys on additional features. And that includes your guys' feedback. Like we talked about at the beginning here, Lance, you provided feedback to us on how this would benefit you and the metal detecting community. And we've implemented some of those things, and we'll continue to. We really want that feedback. I think that's what will make it the tool that you say this is worth every penny for.
Oh, and it already is. In my personal opinion, it's a great tool. I definitely going to be using it for quite a while, especially in the areas, my new permissions as well. Nobody is metal detected there, and very little history is known about the area. So this will definitely give us some insight into what's going on in that area.
Absolutely. And, there's some features on each site when you save a site. You can choose to share it. You can choose not to share it. You can choose to put it in the cloud or not. And I'll touch on that sharing point. Not that you necessarily want to share your permission information, but maybe you do. Or in a lot of cases, especially for gold mining and crystal digging and fossils, all those things, there's a lot of public places out there that you can go for that. And I think if those of us who know those places, mark them, share them, then other folks with the apps, and I'm thinking about people new to our hobbies. It'll give them ideas of places to go, which will help garner interest in all of our hobbies, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the guys over at Black Ada, I think you guys should try this app out. I think you'll definitely love this, and as much as I do, if not more than I do, because I know that this is one of the tools that I always have with me. Just like you said, it's always in my pocket and just about 3 clicks away from starting to mark locations.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating. I think it's a really, really good idea.
Yeah, it definitely is. Once I saw what it was capable of, I started seeing the application that it could use in metal detecting, and my goal was to help him create something that might be able to reach out to more people. And I think, I don't mean to pat myself on the back, breaking my arm in the process, but I hope I have at least done a little bit to open and share a new avenue that this application would definitely be useful for.
I say you have, Lance, and a lot of folks that are using it now are starting to get more feedback. Again, I'm a gold miner. I've been mining since I was 12. That is what my head is always wrapped around. And I don't pretend to know the best way the app can be useful to all the various hobbies out there around digging in the ground. So that feedback's very important to us. And so you have been very helpful, and I hope we can make the app even more useful for you guys.
Well, we got a company that's right on the line. They got some of the best digging tools. You might be able to bring some of those out to get some gold nuggets while you're out digging up some gold nuggets.
Yeah, if I didn't have kids, I'd be out there digging gold more often.
But anyway, yeah, that's definitely, we've definitely got to get you into metal detecting too. It's something that you and the kids can do at the same time. So, Dave?
Yes?
I think
I'm still here.
Yeah, I think we're coming down. The show's going on quite a while. We got quite a round robin of people today, and I really definitely want to thank everybody for coming in. This has been a real amazing show. This is definitely our rock stars show of the year.
Christmas special.
Well, everybody's speechless on that one. All right, we'll fix it in post, guys. There won't be a blank there in post, right? Everybody fell asleep at their monitors, right?
I guess I've just been talking too much. I can put anybody to sleep.
I wasn't thinking that, Lance. Come on.
That miner's mark thing.
Yeah, the miner's mark. Yeah, just check it out. You guys can look it up online on Facebook. They got a site on Facebook. It's Miner's Mark, correct?
Correct. And the URL is basically www.facebook.com/minersmark, and that will get you to our page.
There you go. Definitely check the guys out, or just go on to iTunes, type in Miner's Mark in the app section, and the same thing on Google Play, and you guys will definitely find it. It's definitely worth every penny that they're asking for, and they're not asking a lot of money. It's
all right.
Well worth it.
Go ahead. Yep. All right. Well, before we take off, let's just go and go around the table, and we'll start off with last man up. We'll start with Gary. Gary, you have anything that you want to promote, or a site that you want us to promote to, where we can find you and your videos?
Yeah, definitely. just put out a brand new video on heavy metal detecting on YouTube.
Fantastic.
It stars the star of the video is actually my dog. He's got a couple of little segments in there, and he kind of steals the show, so that's worth seeing. And just keep rocking and checking out the videos. I usually put out one a fortnight, something like that. And
that's going to be at youtube.com and just type in heavy metal detecting, correct?
Yeah, you can't really miss it.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, how about you? Anything before we leave?
No, I just, again, extend some appreciation for you guys having me on and Lance beta testing and giving us a lot of feedback. And certainly come visit us on Facebook, give us a like and a follow, and we'll keep everybody updated there on what we're working on.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you keep putting some posts on our Facebook page and get some people coming out to you.
Sounds good. Appreciated.
Yeah, and then we'll go across the pond from me, and I guess actually from Dave as well, over to Black Ad. What you guys got coming up?
So we got the Searcher magazine with the Black Adder Gladius with the new boot safe feature.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to a bit like the XP rally next year.
Yeah, all the rally season kicking off next year. Really excited about that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Generally, just check out our website. It's blackada.com. You can have a look at the new Gladius there. You can buy it. Read up on Searcher review, the field test there. And, just check it out. It's a really good product.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing is that you guys have actually done 4 really big rallies this year, and hopefully, with luck, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I think Dave and I are going to be traveling over to your neck of the woods and hitting a couple ourselves next year if everything works out right.
Compton was good. The Compton rally.
Yeah.
Down by Plymouth, they're finding some really nice gold coins down there.
Oh, wow.
The ones with it's got a face on the front, but there was more of a stamp on the back.
Wow.
Really old stuff. I mean, the photos are out there on YouTube. I've had my photo taken with one of the Mine Lab guys. He was more than over the moon with that weekend. That was straight into Compton, that rally.
Yeah.
It was really good.
3 months ago.
Yeah,
really definitely remind me about that one. I'll see if I can get out there and we'll represent the whole team. We'll represent Black Ada and XP detectors out there, and hopefully I can get my I want to say sidekick, but I guess he's the larger voice of the group.
Who's that?
Interesting.
Who's he talking about? Hey, Lance, I was going to ask you. What about you? What do you have to promote? I see you got a new video out.
I got a new video out. I got nothing else really to promote.
All right. Well, next week, our next show, I'm going to do my review on the Draper shovel hook, an invention by Stephen Padley.
Yeah, Stephen Padley.
And you can see he advertises on our post an advertisement on our the Global Detection Adventure Facebook page. You'll see that all the time, and I'm going to do my review on that in a couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely will talk about that as well because I've been using one myself, and we'll definitely talk about that. I'm not going to give any clues away right now.
All right, well, that's going to do it for today, for our show today. I want to thank all our guests. I want to thank Sean Woods from Miner's Mark and Gary Fenn from Heavy Metal Detecting, and keep rocking, brother. And the Black Ada team, Dad Archie, and the younger son Matt, and the oldest Nathan. And appreciate everybody, all you guys coming onto the show and talking about your endeavors, and really appreciate it. It was a great show. Also want to thank our newscast from Butch Holcomb.
Yeah.
And our special report from Kimmy Price. And Lance?
Well, I want to thank Blackadder for taking the time and believing in this podcast. Hopefully, we can help you guys keep reaching out and reaching more people. You've really helped us out, and we really want to kind of repay the same thing for you guys. You guys,
appreciated, Lance, and thanks for the invite. We really appreciate it.
we're definitely going to have you guys back on real soon.
Will do, definitely.
All right.
Cheers. All the best.
All right. And for everybody else, Sean, thank you very much for coming. Gary, rock on, like you said.
Rock on, Tommy.
All right. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, hopefully, with a very special announcement for the guest coming up, hopefully within the next week. So stay tuned on Facebook. Until then, let's dig it up, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a production of the GDA Podcast Network.